3, 2, 1.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and we have weather update here because we have a tornado warning that has just been issued by the National Weather Service in Mobile County. That is in effect until 11:15 here. You can see this is for a storm that's near Alberta at this point, along and to the north of US 98. I'll read off the text of the warning here real quick. So this is a tornado warning from the National Weather Service for southeastern Baldwin County. And it's going until 11:15, and a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Alberta, 5 miles east of Foley. You can see here we've got Foley. So this is past Foley, just so you're aware. Foley is not in the polygon. Here's your polygon right here. So Foley is to the west of that. But that's 5 miles east of Foley. It's moving northeast at 15 miles an hour, so moving kind of in this direction here. And it's a radar indicated tornado, so there's not official confirmation of this tornado on the ground at this point. It's just a radar indication. It does look like it's over some fairly rural areas at this point, which is good, although we know people still live out in some of these rural areas, but it is over a little bit more of a rural area than it would be if it was a little bit further to the west, back in Foley, obviously. And so, again, if you are in this area of Baldwin County, it's moving towards Seminole right now along US 90. So if you're in this area here, you want to go ahead and take shelter as a course of least regret here. Again, we've been watching these circulating. There's been these thunderstorms here in Baldwin County have been spinning a lot, kind of like tops basically, over the last couple of hours. And so it has been something we've been watching here. Bill, do you have something?
I think there may be a debris signature forming.
Okay.
Just to the northeast of Alberta. It
Okay.
appears to be coincident with the rotation is increasing. Right there. It appears to be coincident with the couplet and with the reflectivity. So I think we might actually have something on the ground there.
Yeah, I think I think you're right there. So that's near. Just we'll kind of call out some of the roads here nearby. So again, this looks like that potential tornado that looking like could be on the ground. Now that we see that drop in the correlation coefficient, is just again to the northeast of Alberta. So Alberta itself, kind of right there in the center of town, it is just to the northeast of that. But places like Pecan Lane, Malkoski Drive or Road, County Road 32. Let's see, Frank Road. Those streets there within this part, just to the northeast of Alberta, are right there where this potential tornado is located. You got Comstock Road further to the northeast. You've also got, Boros Road, Gardner Road, County Road 32. These are all within nearby, and it looks like, Bill, I think you were on the money there because it looks like we've just gone confirmed with the warning here. So yeah, this is now being tagged as a confirmed tornado warning. I would assume it has to do with that debris signature that Bill picked out already here. Bill, do you see? I'm assuming that's what they're saying on the text of that warning. I have not.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Drew, it is an observed tornado warning now. The Weather Service in Mobile just saying that they have a confirmed tornado over Alberta, 6 miles northeast of Foley, which is what we know. So definitely, we saw that in the debris signature right there, still showing that northeast of Alberta, moving up in the general direction of Seminole. The rotation's still really strong there. So, this is probably the strongest circulation we've seen this evening, Drew, in the last several hours in this second round of storms.
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. And I think what we're looking at is this right here. There's a little bit of, originally this was a little kind of confusing looking at the signature there, and you had a little bit of a lowering of CC kind of a little bit further to the southeast, but I think now looking at it a little bit closer, right there near Warren Road, that's where I think the tornado probably is right now, in that general vicinity. Again, Pecan Lane, Frank Road is a little bit to the south, but if you're anywhere in this area, northeast of Alberta in Baldwin County, you need to seek shelter right now. We have a tornado on the ground, so you want to go ahead and seek shelter in the most central part of your house, away from windows, lowest part of your house, if you're in this area, because we certainly do we've now can confirm that we do have a tornado on the ground. Looking at what we're seeing here with the radar signatures here, and so we'll take a quick look at a couple of the values here. We are looking at, again, some 45-mile-per-hour winds on going kind of outbound. We have close to that inbound, so overall got about 60, 70, 80 knots of shear there. So we've got enough of circulation, obviously, to produce a tornado. And yep, again, we're seeing. I see a message just came in from National Weather Service Mobile, confirming that they see that tornado debris signature on the radar, and so just further confirmation there. Now, again, this is moving towards Seminole. We're kind of just putting this into motion here to get a better idea of what direction this is moving. So this was a circulation of the movers right there over Alberta. May not have been on the ground quite yet at that point, but you can see that it is moving up in the general direction of Seminole, again, right there close to the state line along US 90. So I would go ahead and say, Seminole, you're not in the polygon yet, but if you're watching us, you're in that area, you need to go ahead and be getting ready potentially to take shelter, because it doesn't look like it'll be much longer before we start to see that circulation and the tornado get into that area there now. And looking at the text of the warning here, so we're saying we're moving about 15 miles per hour to the northeast. We'll go ahead and draw a quick storm track on that here. Kind of put it about right here, move it up towards Seminole. So let's see. Well, I can't get it to show up in my storm track here, but we got a shear marker popping up there. So again, that's more evidence that we've got strong rotation with this. This is one of our algorithms that we look at that is basically just looking for strong rotation. I'll go ahead and I'll toggle that off for now, since we're already aware that this thing is on the ground. Yeah, just in the next, I'd say 10, 15 minutes here, Seminole, you are going to be potentially under the gun from this, although you're not in that tornado warning polygon quite yet. So we're going to continue to watch that as it continues to move off towards the northeast here. So, Bill, I don't know if you've seen any other reports starting to come in from anything else, or any other information from the Weather Service, anyone else yet?
No, all other channels are currently quiet. Drew, the rotation was just crossing over County Road 85, and this is a lot of agricultural land, but there are folks that live out here. It's definitely moving in the general direction of US 90 and Seminole, and it's going to be crossing the Florida border. They're pretty close, eventually moving in the direction of Cantonment and Cottage Hill there in Escambia County, Florida. But we still got it, moving over these areas, like Boros Road, Comstock Road, County Road 32, County Road 91. If you're in any of these areas near the Blackwater River, moving up toward River Road, getting near Seminole, we want you to be in your safe place. We still have strong indications of rotation. We have still, you've got the debris that's clearly there. It may not be down, may not still be producing a tornado, but it very well could, Drew, because that rotation is very pronounced there. Our shear marker, seeing normalized rotation values on our radar that are extremely strong, and on our Barron radar, we still have some of the best, shear markers that we've seen tonight. You saw your shear marker pop up there too. So this is continuing. We have a confirmed tornado warning until 11:15 for portions of Baldwin County, north of US 98, south of US 90 there. It's to the south of Elsinore, and approaching the community of Seminole, which is northeast of Alberta. There, this is well east of Foley. It's going to stay well northwest of Lillian, and is continuing off to the northeast here. The Weather Service says at about 15 miles an hour. So this is what we've been concerned about. This system moving in from the west, Drew, is kind of pulling that warm front to the north a little bit, as we were talking about the last time we went live. And so it's kind of shifting the severe weather threat slightly to the north. It's going to continue pushing to the east. Hopefully we'll get it out of Baldwin County by midnight or so. And then it's going to be shifting across the Florida panhandle during the evening or during the overnight hours.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one good thing here is that we're getting pretty close to getting it out of our area here, but obviously we still got a little bit of time to go. We've got a little bit of ground to cover here that unfortunately with a tornado on the ground at this point. And looking at, I was able to get a storm track drawn here for this, and you can see that Seminole showing around 11:26 potential arrival time for this. And again, not currently in the warning. We'll see if the circulation lasts long enough to get extended, for them to extend this further up towards the northeast. But just again, as a heads up for those of you who are in Seminole, we're going to just go ahead and give you that storm track there. Again, around 11:20, 11:25 or so would be your kind of general time frame that this potential tornado, if it's still on the ground at that point, would be in the area here. So again, we got that our shear marker turned on here, still indicating strong rotation. That little red circle there with the yellow cylinder reaching the ground. And another little thing just with this that you can note is it's fairly low to the ground here. And whenever we see that, we know that we're hitting the circulation at a fairly low level in the atmosphere. And so we have more confidence about its being a stronger circulation closer to the ground. Of course, we also have the confirmation of the debris signature as well. So that gives you about as much confidence as you can get without actually seeing it with your own eyes here. Now, kind of scrolling through the last few scans, yeah, I would say it looks like the circulation is still there. We still got some rotation here. It may not be quite as strong as it was a few minutes ago, but still it's there, and we'll take a look again back at the correlation coefficient. I think now it's getting a little bit harder to tell. Back a few minutes ago, this was pretty apparent that was your debris signature. Sometimes what happens though is as you get that debris lofted, it starts to kind of spread out. It gets pulled up into the storm, starts to spread out, and becomes more diffuse, and then it gets a little bit harder to tell whether you've got active debris being lofted at that point, or whether this is or maybe you're seeing debris that's already in the storm, but the tornado, and it's still being kind of pulled further up in the updraft. So sometimes that can be kind of hard to determine. So right now, the signature is a little bit more difficult. I mean, there's definitely something going on here. We can still see the circulation in the velocity. We've still got a hook echo here in the reflectivity. And so again, we're still calling this a tornado. No reason really to believe at this point that it's not still a tornado on the ground here in basically the kind of somewhat far southeastern corner of Baldwin County. Back off to the west, just mention real quick, we had some really heavy rain earlier. Still have a flash flood warning that looks like it's still in effect for a little bit longer, but the heavier rain has certainly shifted off towards the east now. We've also got flood advisories that are kind of extending back towards where this heavier rain is now. So not only do we have this tornado, but we also do have potential flash flooding concerns. We're hoping we can get this out of here quick enough to not get too much of that like we did earlier this morning in Orange Beach. But certainly the tornado is what we're most worried about right now. Bill, do you have something?
Yeah, our colleague John Olshu telling us we've got 400 power outages now just north of Alberta. Another indication we might have had something on the ground. And our skywatcher, Brandon Woods, reported that he was in the general area, and he confirmed that we had a tornado on the ground. Visually, he saw it, Drew. You communicated with him there between Alabama 87 and Alabama 95, north of US 98, which is consistent with what we've seen. So this is why we've got these incredible sky watchers all over the state of Alabama. Thank you, Brandon. That is so valuable and very helpful to us. Please, continue to report. We've also got other reports, Drew, of flooding. Brian Crenshaw on social media reporting in Robertsdale that the huge ditches in his backyard are overflowing now. So we know we're going to continue to have flood problems, through the overnight hours. And we've got flash flood warnings that continue in effect. And there's going to be more of that until we get this heavy rain out of here. So, you know, it's, you know, fortunately we've gotten most of the heavy rain out of that flash flood warning that, you know, was in effect on the eastern shore there. But you know, till we get this heavy rain out, it's going to continue, you know, as we're seeing. But we want to remind everybody, you know, lowest floor, center of your home, in a small room, a closet, or a bathroom, away from all windows. You know, we want you to have a plan in advance. We want you to be out of manufactured housing, out of your mobile home. It's not a safe place to be in a tornado, but that's a plan that you have to make in advance. So, you know, definitely more diffuse in the last few runs here, I think. Drew, would you agree with that? It appears to be kind of drifting off a little more to the east than it was, but it may still come, you know, ominously close to Seminole. Maybe kind of ramping back up a little bit on that last scan there. Drew, what do you think?
Yeah, Bill, I can see what you're saying. It looks like it may have loosened up just a little bit, but then may have tightened right back up in that last scan. And yeah, hoping that it maybe steers mostly clear of Seminole, although obviously we know we've got folks that are down south of there as well. And taking a look at the street grid in this area, so we've got Middle Road, that's just east of that circulation. We've got Lodge Road as well. We've got Lake Road, Three Rivers Road, Mitchell Lane, and looks like Oaken Lane, Bermuda Lane. So if you're just basically calling out a lot of these neighborhood streets and city streets in the area, Narrow Road, Lost River Road. So if you hear any of the roads that you live on or that are near your house, it looks like another one that's getting closer to Seminole, Brown's Landing Road. It looks like near the river there. So if you're hearing any of those streets, then you know you definitely are within the danger area now. And it does appear, yeah, it looks like they have gone ahead and done quite a bit of an extension on the warning now from what they had before. I was kind of wondering if they were going to go ahead and do that as we were getting pretty close to the edge of that confirmed tornado warning. So it looks like they've gone ahead and extended that out further towards the east, so that now that Seminole is included within the warning at this point, it's not just on the outside of it looking in, it is now fully within the tornado warning polygon here. So again, Seminole, you are now there. Again, it looks like the circulation may mainly go to the south, but it's you know, too close for comfort right now. If you're in Seminole, you need to go ahead and take your precautions, be in your shelter, and go through your severe weather plan, because it's, again, just kind of too close to call here as far as how close this tornado, which has had a history of being on the ground, confirmed, how close that is. Now, we're getting very close to the state line here, and so that's the good thing. Of course, if anybody happens to be watching us in the Florida Panhandle here, then you know certainly we want you to be taking cover as well. If you're in Escambia County, Florida, and we're talking about Escambia County, Florida, not Alabama at this point, but just to the east of Seminole, if you're across the state line. And again, that next scan just came in where it looks like we've still got fairly strong looking circulation just to the south of Seminole, and getting close to crossing over into Florida at this point. So again, if you are in places like Pine Forest, Inslee, further to the east, south of US 90 going into Escambia County, Florida, if you happen to be watching us, you need to certainly be taking shelter over in that part of Florida as well. And again, looking up towards the north, just so some of you who may have gotten any sort of alert on your phone about this tornado warning that just was issued, if you're north of Seminole, let's just put this in motion just to make sure I don't overstate this a little bit too much, but it's looking like if you're north of Seminole, closer to I-10, that even though you're in the polygon there, you're probably okay. I'm going to see if I can pull up any. So, you know, Champion Paper Road, they're near the I-10 intersection with that road. I mean, that's a little bit further to the north where you're probably okay at this point. Now, I will say there's, like I mentioned when we first came on here, a lot of these things have been spinning here the last couple of hours. This is definitely the most significant one we've seen, the only one that we're aware of producing a tornado. But there's other little areas of circulation that could be popping up here and there. Let me go ahead and just click that to stop, and you can see that that new warning that was issued is going until 11:45. So that's 11:14 Central Time right now, and so that goes on for basically the next 30 minutes here for this new warning that was sort of issued here in the last 5 or so minutes. And we'll continue to, I'm going to kind of see if see any other updates. I don't know, Bill, if you see any other updates or anything else worth passing along from the Weather Service or anyone like that.
Nothing from the Weather Service, Drew, but just a reminder to our friends that might be on I-10, we really don't want you to be on the interstate, especially east of exit 49. They're all the way over to Interstate 110 in Pensacola. This thing's kind of turned a little bit more to the east, east-northeast to me, Drew, and that's going to, make it go over US 90 there east of Seminole as it goes into Florida. So it's going to be, approaching areas kind of to the west of Inslee, getting up toward Gonzales, but that's going to put it square over the interstate there in Florida. In some places that they're around exits, exits like exit 7 and exit 5, for cantonment around the way station there as you're getting toward the Alabama border. We don't want anybody to be on the interstate there because, even though these are not typical your big maxi tornadoes, you don't want to be in a car. Certainly, if you encounter one of these, for sure. So the rotation on it is still very strong. We're getting strong indications of of a tornadic signature here. Not as much of a debris signature as we were seeing earlier, which is great news. But we do have power outages in that area. We have a visual confirmation from one of our sky watchers, one of our folks who does this, and we appreciate that. And we've got the typical hook structure there on reflectivity. So this is definitely a storm to watch. It's about to cross the border from Baldwin County, Alabama, into Escambia County, Florida, and that tornado warning continues until 11:45 tonight for folks that are in eastern Baldwin and western Escambia County, Florida, Drew.
Yeah, Bill, and one thing I want to just mention, the lightning has really ramped up here in the last few scans. We're seeing 54, now 58 strikes. This is just in the last 3 minutes. I'm going to double check that my setting is, so that's just in the last 3 minutes within this view here. We've gotten 61 now, so we're just really seeing, and that is something that you see a lot of times with tornadic thunderstorms, is you'll have these big lightning jumps, and just in the last 5 or 10 minutes, we had just maybe 10 or 15 strikes, and then all of a sudden, boom, you really see a lot of lightning, and it looks like we're seeing probably some hail aloft at least in just to the east of Seminole, kind of right along the state line, right now along the river you can see here. So that could be part of it too, is that you're getting a little bit more hail aloft in the storm that's kind of being thrown up and hitting against each other and creating all sorts of charges and helping to really to energize that, what you're seeing there with just the very electric nature of the storm currently. So yeah, we're definitely seeing a big jump right now. And this right here, this is, again, looking like probably where the potential tornado would be right now, just looking at the reflectivity, a little bit of a kind of a, you got a little bit of a hook here, a little bit of kind of a circular area there, where you sometimes will see a potential tornado. And again, we're right there, and we'll kind of zoom in again to that area. So that's that middle road. I think we called that out earlier, but that's middle road there, kind of right along the river, right along the state line, south of Seminole. If you happen to be anywhere near there, you need to be in your safe place right now. It's basically on top of you right now. And so, again, we'll kind of switch back over. And, yeah, so that's circulation is still there for sure. We're also taking a look at our shear rate product here. And it looked a little bit stronger earlier, but I'd still say that it's not a good-looking signature there. And although again the debris part of it, it's getting a little bit, like I said earlier, it's been a little bit harder to tell recently with that if we're still seeing actual debris. The signatures get a little bit messy for that, but we'll just assume at this point that this is still on the ground, considering it does have that history of doing that. So again, if you're just south of Seminole and some of those roads there right next to the river, you want to be in your safe place. Looking back to the west, just to kind of give a few places an all clear. Alberta, you were near the warning originally. You're good. The storm is west of you or east of you now. Lillian, all of this has moved kind of just to the north of you. So, however, not that I would expect too many people to just kind of be hanging out outside at this time of night, but there are some lightning strikes that you can see that are jumping out because this has become such an electrically active storm. We got some lightning strikes jumping well out away from the storm. So if you're in this area, Lillian, you stay inside, because it looks like the lightning threat could be something that you don't want to deal with for sure with this storm now that it's become so kind of engulfed with lightning there. Again, looking down, places like Orange Beach, where you had the tornado earlier and all the flooding, Foley, Gulf Shores, Johnson's Beach, all these places that are further down to the south and west, you are good at this point, and even further to the west or nearer to the current warning, Elsinore, you're just a little bit to the west of it. You're okay now. You've got a heavy thunderstorm nearby, but you're not under threat of the tornado at this point. Same thing goes for places like Robertsdale, Summerdale. So again, you're to the west of this, so you're not having to worry about being in the polygon at this point. Now, it looks like the latest scan here of the reflectivity continues to look like a pretty classic-looking hook. We'll switch products again here, and again, at this point, we're really now just starting to cross the state line, and there certainly still have a circulation. It may be a little bit broader than it's been at times, but it's getting a little bit harder to interpret exactly the details of it, but there's enough evidence there that there's still potentially a tornado that we want to take it seriously for sure here. And I'm not seeing any more recent updates from Weather Service, and then I'll take a look. I don't know if we've seen anything else from our Sky Watchers. I don't know if you've had a chance to scan any of that yet, Bill.
Yeah, our friend David Moore in Beulah, Florida, which is right there where the worst of the reflectivity is, Drew, on US 90. He's reporting the lightning output is extremely impressive, and it is about 30 flashes per minute now. As you were seeing, it really ramping up. 74 strikes there on the Barron system in the last 3 minutes out of that system. So, and a high preponderance of positive strikes too. So we saw it really ramp up there for sure. And Drew, getting a lot of questions, because obviously people get nervous when they, hear the word tornado being thrown around, in places like Tuscaloosa and, North Alabama, Central Alabama. No problems there, nothing like this. The air is just too stable. You do not have to worry. This is entirely an extreme South Alabama, now Florida Panhandle problem. As a matter of fact, once we get this out of Baldwin County here, a little bit after midnight, we should be smooth sailing the rest of the night in Alabama. Drew, would you say? Certainly the Panhandle's going to have to deal with this for several hours as it tracks eastward, but the severe weather threat is limited to areas near the coast for sure.
Yeah, Bill, I think that's from everything that we've seen, I think that lines up pretty well with what we've seen, and that the kind of the flare up of instability and kind of the confluence with the front, where we had enough shear and instability kind of in the same spot right around that front. That was supposed to be kind of in this time frame we're in right now in southern Mobile, Baldwin counties, and then that they're all signs are pointing to the fact that will sort of subside as we get past this kind of immediate time frame here. So yeah, that's kind of that's the the idea at this point, and that's the plan as far as we're concerned, and we'll continue to watch it here. Now, we'll go ahead and mention, you can notice that they've trimmed and canceled the tornado warning in Baldwin County. So we now, the Weather Service in Mobile has canceled it because it's now basically moved into Florida. Now, again, you're looking at the radar signature here. You're basically sitting on the state line, sitting on the river there. But again, we'll just we'll continue to watch it for a few more minutes here, obviously. But yeah, it's basically sitting there, moving into Florida, moving into Escambia County as we speak. We'll also mention that we've got the that shear markers popped up again. It had been a few scans and it had not been on there, but it has popped back up now, which again, you'll sometimes you'll see that pretty often with this, where you've got storms that are kind of cycling up and down. They strengthen for a little bit and they may weaken for a few scans and they kind of cycle back up. And so sometimes you'll see where this sort of indication of rotation will follow that. But as of now, still showing some of that. Although again, I'd say looking at the, I'll turn this back off so we can just get a better look at it. You know, yes, there's still rotation here, but it's a little bit more, a little bit messier. Although the next scan that just came in, it's kind of gotten a little bit easier to find there again, kind of in this area right here. So, but that area right there is across the state line. You got the state line right here. I didn't draw that very well. Let's try that again. Yeah, so there's your state line right there. And that looks like right kind of just now into Florida is where it appears that potential tornado is now located. And so, so yeah, we have now cleared the tornado warning from the state of Alabama. Again, as we've mentioned before, if you happen to be watching us in western Escambia County, Florida, you know, of course, we don't officially cover Florida with what we do here at the Alabama Weather Network, but we'll, you know, just a heads up again, and that if you are in this part of Escambia County, Florida, that places like Pine Forest and Inslee, eventually maybe Riverview, Olive, those are some of the areas. 297, also obviously I-10 and US 90. All those areas are kind of in that threat area of that polygon. We'll hope that this starts to subside here and starts to kind of fall back apart here sometime soon. But definitely still looking like a very strong thunderstorm. Still lots of lightning with it as well. And but yes, that tornadic circulation has moved out, and we're kind of shifting back to the west. And you know, that there's no other tornado warnings, at least at this point. Do have that flash flood warning still in effect for the kind of the eastern shore here. It's still extending until 1 a.m. Decent chance. Of course, there's still some heavier cells there right near Fairhope and just to the east of there, but it's possible they could go ahead and cancel that at some point too if we don't continue to get heavy rain in that area. So again, but we'll continue to monitor that as well. But thankfully, again, you can see that really heavy cell with the tornado warning has moved to the east. And looking down towards the south, don't have a lot more coming out of the Gulf at this point. We have a few little spells that look a little suspicious there off the coast of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, but nothing like what we're seeing up there a little bit further to the north. And so the fact that we don't have a train of a bunch of cells moving in from the Gulf at this point is hopefully a good sign that we are starting to wind down a little bit. And again, kind of looking further north, we don't see anything else happening in the state. No other warnings or anything like that. Bill, do you have something you want to take a look at? Or
yeah, Drew, I thought if you want, I could just kind of take us through the next 15 hours or so, just to know, help folks kind of rest easy a little bit. You know, kind of look at, if you want to take links 3
okay.
For a second. We'll take the HRRR, which is really our best convection allowing model, and kind of, yeah.
Hold on 1 second, but I'll pull you up. All right, now, oh yeah, I punched you wrong. You should be good now.
Okay, great. There we go. Yeah, let's kind of look here. You know, well, I guess if you wouldn't mind, Drew, if you would kind of restart my sequence over there real quick. We'll kind of start from, you know, now and move forward, but you can kind of see, you know, what's going on here. These storms in Mobile and Baldwin County move across the panhandle. That's where your severe weather threat is. That's where all the instability is. We've got decent shear. We've had, pretty strong upper level jet in this region. The cold front is kind of moving in, from the west finally. Everything finally kind of started going. We couldn't get this warm front to move, but as you go through the morning hours tomorrow, the showers and thunderstorms will be gone. We'll deal with just a few scattered showers here and there. Temperatures will be in the 50s over the northern half of the state, with 60s over southeastern and central Alabama. We'll have 70s over southwestern parts of the state. We'll see some clearing over the coastal counties, Mobile and Baldwin, maybe working up into southern parts of Clark and Washington, maybe into Monroe counties. But most everyone else tomorrow will be fairly cloudy. But you'll just see a few scattered, showers at times tomorrow, but no more active thunderstorms. We're going to deal with that again Tuesday night into Wednesday, when a second low pressure system kind of gets its act together, pushes a front our way, and then that will kind of move all of this stuff out. You see, as we get into the late afternoon hours, some of that clearing spreads up into places like Thomasville and Jackson to Monroeville, maybe into Evergreen. You see there'll be a few showers along that line, but nothing to worry about, nothing that's going to be severe, or nothing that will be causing any flooding or problems like that. Right now, we really are just looking forward to some beneficial rain, Drew. And this is not going to break the drought, that's for sure. But anything that we can get at this point will be a help, and we certainly will take it.
Yeah, that's for sure, Bill. It's something we definitely have needed around here, and that's something that we can definitely hang our hat on with this entire event here. And yeah, looking at the rest of the state, again, we've cleared the tornado warning from Baldwin County, and so just taking just a statewide look, we'll kind of wrap things up here, hopefully. And if for people who are asking for what's happening, or is there any sort of thunderstorm threat or severe weather threat, if you're in other parts of the state, the short answer is no. Again, as you look towards the north, again, all up in parts of the Birmingham metro, places like Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, this kind of Shelby County, St. Clair County, all the counties kind of surrounding the Birmingham metro, up into the Tennessee Valley, places like Huntsville, Florence, Muscle Shoals, Athens, Scottsboro, Hartselle, Gadsden, Anniston. So all the places kind of in northern Alabama, you've been good, and you've been good all day because there's just been stable air mass up there. There's not been as much moisture, and so it's just been rain, and that will continue. So there's no threat of severe weather there. And as you move further to the south, even south of Birmingham, as you get closer in, we'll kind of zoom in and get some of the more places that pop up here. So Alabaster, Sylacauga, Alexander City, Clanton, Wetumpka, Demopolis, Selma, all those areas that are near Montgomery, Wetumpka, Tuskegee. You're good. Again, you've got passing showers moving through, but looking at, as you can see here, looking at the number of strikes, we're seeing 0 strikes when we look in this part of the state, and even in the northern part of the state as well. And even as we continue to move a little bit further to the south, a few strikes as you get down into the far kind of southern part of the state before you get to Baldwin and Mobile County, Escambia County, Alabama. Looks like maybe there's a few strikes there, and some of that could be actually in Florida as well. There's a few heavier showers that have moved through parts of Clark County recently, moving up towards Camden, Wilcox County, Thomasville. But again, none of this is severe. This is all just rain, beneficial rain that's moving through. And as we move down further, again, just to kind of take another look at what we're seeing with this former tornado warning in Baldwin County that's now moved into Escambia County, Florida. The overall motion of this, it's got a little bit of a northeasterly component. A lot of it's fairly easterly though too. So it's mostly, this particular storm at least, should be in Florida for a while, and it would be a while before this might have a trajectory that would get it up towards the kind of southern fringe of Alabama. And hopefully by then we'll be looking at, again, continued reduction in instability and drier air, because we know that we've definitely had drier air. The more you move kind of east and northeast in the state today has been in a drier air mass. And so still the expectation would be that even if this got up closer to southeastern Alabama in the next few hours, that the atmosphere should not be as conducive for that to continue to be a tornado at that point. So again, hopefully by then we'll expect to just have some rainfall continuing through there, because I will say that is one thing, the southeastern part of the state has not gotten a whole lot of rain today compared to the rest of the state. And so obviously we're hoping we get everybody a little bit of rain out of this. But if we take a look at the 24-hour rain totals here, there's a big hole basically over southeastern Alabama and a lot of eastern Alabama too as well, up as far as towards Anniston has not seen a ton. Montgomery has not seen a ton. Phoenix City's had next to nothing. So yeah, this whole part of the state has not gotten much rain out of this yet. It's not over. We've still got opportunity to get rainfall in those areas, but hopefully anything that's coming across the Florida Panhandle will have the opportunity to spread some more rain, and hopefully no severe weather, but just rain in that direction. Excuse me, sorry about that. It's getting late. I need to drink some water, I guess. But so anyway, that's kind of the situation as we stand now. Bill, do you have anything else as an update, or anything else we need to?
Yeah, I was looking at the Storm Prediction Center mesoanalysis page, and Drew, it would take quite a bit to get that instability up into places like Geneva, Houston County, Covington County. It still would have a long way to go, and I just don't think that the forcing is there to have that happen. We've got a broad surface low right now west of Meridian, but it's not very strong. I know we were talking earlier tonight here in the weather center, that shortwave trough, the upper level energy was sort of taking on more of a, what we call a negative tilt, which, sometimes can indicate a little more energy. But at the same time, it just doesn't really seem like it's going to have the impetus to pull that boundary up far enough to affect our southern counties, which is great news. So, we want our friends in the Panhandle to be cautious overnight. It's a great night to make sure that weather radio is working, that it's turned on, that you've got your weather apps. Like, the Alabama Weather Network app doesn't stop at the Florida border. It works in places like Cantonment and Milton and Defuniak Springs and Crestview just as well. And make sure these are your lines of defense. That weather radio is your smoke detector for weather. And then that Alabama Weather Network app, I'm telling you, it will let you know. There are multiple alerts there. There's so many it can be sort of dizzying, but if you take your time and work through it, you may not want to know about a fog advisory at 2 a.m. in the morning, Drew. That's when they come. You may not want to know about that, but you certainly want to know about a tornado warning, and you certainly want to know about a tornado watch if you live in a manufactured home, for example, because you need a little extra time to make it to a friend's house or to a family member's home to be in a safe place. So please make sure that you're arming yourself with all of these tools. And it's so tempting to turn that do not disturb on when you go to bed, but it can be a matter of life and death. Being a student of weather history all my life, so many tragic stories have played out, Drew, over time, where people just didn't think it would happen to them. And there's I don't want to be, I don't want to preach here, because I know you're the choir and most of the folks that are watching this stream are the choir, but let your friends and family know tonight, be an ambassador. If they're in the Panhandle, make sure they're aware. We've been quiet for so long. It's been a long hot summer, and we're getting back into our active season, so it's time to become weather aware again, Drew.
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. I can't agree more, and those are good points of advice. And just to reiterate, if you know, sometimes there's people who just don't pay a lot of attention to the weather, and no matter how hard you try, they just they got other things going on. So if you're the type of person that's paying attention to it, you can be the biggest help, more than we can be, to give some of those people a heads up that something's coming. So absolutely. completely agree with that. And so again, we'll I think we're going to go ahead and kind of wind things down here at this point. Again, we have no active tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, anything like that within the state at this point. That tornado warning is now we were dealing with earlier in Baldwin County has moved into Escambia County, Florida. We do have this flash flood warning that's still in effect for the eastern shore of Baldwin County. There's still a few showers moving through, but generally the threat there I think is ended as far as flash flooding is concerned. Not to say that there couldn't still be some flooded roadways. That's still not a good idea to be getting out and about. I mean, it's hey, it's 11:39 at night anyway, so you probably don't need to be out there on the roads anyway. But still, at least the immediate threat of torrential rain has kind of ended in that area at this point, and we expect that to kind of continue to shift off towards the east. And again, just kind of statewide, we are looking at just showers across the rest of the state. No threats there, but again, we will continue to monitor things. But as we've discussed, we expect things to be kind of winding down here, but we will always continue to monitor it. And we appreciate you trusting us and watching us here on the Alabama Weather Network, and we'll
live, statewide, 24/7. It's the Alabama Weather Network.
Fishing fun. For the Alabama Weather Network crew, it was a day we won't soon forget.
Live, statewide, 24/7. It's the Alabama Weather Network.
If only I'd watched James Spann and the Alabama Weather Network